you find it hard to know which variety of tomato to grow, tomatoes are the #1 garden vegetable, and for a really good reason. There are over 3,800 varieties that I know of, so it becomes hard to pick which one variety is the best. So today I'd like to share with you the different types of tomatoes and share with you which ones will be the best for your garden. So you're going to need to make 5 decisions to figure out which variety of tomato will work best for you. All right, let's start with #1 is season length. So the first decision is to figure out how long of a growing season that you have. Now, there are tomatoes that will ripen in 60 days, and there are others that will need 100 days to ripen. Now, for us, we sometimes only have 90 days from spring frost to fall frost, and I'll choose a tomato variety that will ripen in under 75 days. So this way I actually get some ripe tomatoes. So if you have a really long growing season, you can choose any variety that you want to grow. All right, #2 is determinate or indeterminate. This is always a big question. So a determinate tomato plant will put on all its fruit at once. It'll kind of overwhelm you with tomatoes, and sometimes this is a good thing if you are wanting to do some preserving. So determinate tomato plants are just little short bushy plants. Now, if you're growing an indeterminate plant, it will make a long vine and will keep producing as long as the season will allow. It will make a cluster of tomatoes every week, week after week after week. Now the tomatoes, they're going to ripen at a slow, steady pace. #3 is use. Are you wanting to eat tomatoes fresh, make sauce for canning, or sun-dried tomatoes? For eating fresh, any tomato will work. You can pick the flavor that you like. The yellow tomatoes are usually sweeter, the black tomatoes are usually salty or have a deeper flavor, and the red tomatoes are more of the traditional tomato flavor. Now, if you're wanting to make sauces, can, or dehydrate your tomatoes, then aroma type is the best. This is because it has less water in it and it will process faster. Now, the aroma type tomatoes are great for eating too, so you can have full flavor if you will allow them to vine ripen. Now, you can grow either determinate or indeterminate variety. It will depend on how many tomatoes you want all at once. All right, #4 is garden space. So I grow indeterminate tomatoes on a trellis, and they only take up about a 1 foot by 1 foot space in my garden, but they do need a trellis and they will grow really tall. This is the way that I really like to grow the tomatoes, and if you want to see my plants in action, there's a link in the description below to see my tomato plants growing in my garden. The other way to grow a tomato plant is in a bush form, and this will take about 3 by 3 feet in your garden. And if you only have a small patio, there are patio tomato types that will grow in small spaces. My favorite is one called Red Robin. All right, #5 is seed saving. So the last consideration is if you want to save seeds from your tomatoes and grow them again next year. So if you want to save seed, you need to grow an open pollinated tomato variety. So a hybrid tomato variety will not make reliable seeds for growing the next year. Now, if you're wanting to save seed from your tomato plants, we do sell open pollinated tomato seeds, and you can find them on our website at thelivingfarm.org, and I will also put a link in the description below. And you can grow more than one variety of tomato in your garden. For example, I'll grow 3 different types. For my first tomato plant, I will select a tomato that will ripen in 75 days or less. I will grow a yellow one for eating fresh. I will grow an indeterminate and trellis it to take up less space. And I will grow an open pollinated variety so I can save seed. Okay, for my second tomato that I will grow, I will pick a 75-day or less Roma type variety that I will grow on a trellis as an indeterminate, and I'm going to use that for canning. And I will also grow open pollinated varieties so I can save the seed from it. So my third plant that I will grow is 75 days or less. I'm going to grow a red cherry tomato. I'm going to grow an indeterminate type, and I will trellis that up so that it'll save space in my garden and I can save the seeds from it. So my favorite is large red cherry. If you want to learn more about tomatoes, you can jump into our Tomato Success playlist. You can find it right here.